watching UMass Sports Weekly, only on UVC TV 19.
Welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. We're here to talk a little NBA preview. Joining me on the table is Joey Saade and Tony Bolduc. Guys, thanks for joining me. So we got the league starting up next week, so we're really getting into it, be able to get a nice little conversation going before the season starts. Tony, I'll start with you. Who's your team to watch in the East?
Team in the East to watch that hasn't really been talked about much is the Indiana Pacers. I mean, last year they made it pretty far when they lost to the Miami Heat in the round before the Eastern Conference Finals, and they played good. I mean, they had Danny Granger, who's I think one of the better small forwards in the game. He averages 19 points, 5 rebounds, and I think he's just a good defender. He's good size. I mean, I feel like he can cover most of the other small forwards in the game. And the thing that really makes the Pacers stand out to me, though, is that they have, I think, some of the better big men in the East. Because Roy Hibbert stood out big time last year. He came out of nowhere. He's a big down low presence that every team could look for, and I think he's the best big man in the East right now, which is big because if you have the best big man in the East, that could carry you into the playoffs, carry you deep into the playoffs too. And then another thing with these teams, I think a lot of the NBA has to do with depth, and I think that the Pacers have pretty good depth. They have George Hill coming off the bench for threes, then they have a veteran down low post player in David West, and they have Tyler Hansborough, who could have an upcoming year. He has a lot of potential. He could bring in some rebounds, score a few points. And then I think Coach Frank Vogel will have them playing their hearts out all season long, and I think they can make a good run.
All right, Tony, how about you? Who do you get in the West?
In the West, I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets. Last year they lost in the first round against the Lakers, but they brought them to 7 games, which was very, it showed great, improvement over the last year, which they lost. When you look at the Denver Nuggets, they're the fastest team, I believe, in the league, especially in the Western Conference. You got Ty Lawson, who's becoming better every single year. He's one of the fastest players in the league, and he gave that Lakers defense a lot of trouble with, especially the Lakers. They're an older team. So I expect Denver, with their fast-paced offense. Last year they were first in the league in points, with 104 points per game. They're also first in assists. So the offensive game is there. They were 26th in defense last year, but they brought in Andre Iguodala, which I think is going to help a lot because, you saw what Iguodala did last year against Pierce. He completely shut him down, in the Eastern Conference Semi. So I think adding Iguodala is going to be a huge boost to that defensive side of the ball. They still got JaVale McGee. And, I think, Gallinari, he's no joke. He's legit when he's healthy. Last year, he didn't get to play in that playoff series against the Lakers, but, because he wasn't healthy. But when he's healthy and that core group of guys are healthy, they're going to be really good.
All right, Joey, real quick, do you have the Nuggets in the finals, or who do you got in the finals? Is that one of your teams you think can make it?
In the West Finals? No, I don't. I think they'll get to the second round maybe, but in the West Finals, I think you have to go with the Thunder and the Lakers, purely because, the Lakers got Steve Nash and Dwight Howard, and that automatically puts them, if not the best team, second best team behind the Thunder. But I still got Oklahoma City winning that series and going to the finals because I believe, although the Lakers probably have the best starting 5 in the NBA, they might have the worst bench in the NBA, and with Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant, those are 2 of the older players on that team, and those are the 2 players that they need on offense, specifically the Lakers. And if one of those guys is fatigued or hurt by the end of the season and can't make it through, a long series against the Thunder, I don't think they will be able to make it to the finals. So I'm going to go with the Thunder. They still have Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and I'll take that duo over whatever the Lakers have right now.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. I think the Thunder just have better overall team, like you said, with Durant, Harden coming off the bench. He's one of the better scorers. Yeah. And then, I mean, it's going to come down to who's going to have the healthier team in the playoffs, I think. And I don't think the Lakers, I don't think the Heat. It's going to be an 82-game season this year. And I don't know what teams can last with a starting 5 and no bench. You know what I mean? It's not going to be, oh, we have the best starting 5 so we can win 50 games in the regular season and then rest everyone for the playoffs, and then you have your starting 5 dominating the game. It's going to be an 82-game season. You're going to have to play hard the whole time. But at the same time, the teams that I think are going to come out of the East are the Heat and the Celtics, because the Celtics have the depth and the Heat have the experience of coming off. They have some of the best players in the game. Like, they have the best 2 or 3 of the best players in the game with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron. I mean, LeBron's going to stand out big this year, which I don't really like, but we'll see. And then the West, I think, is going to be the Thunder and the Spurs, because I think the Spurs can take down the Lakers, because I I can't predict an injury, but I see there's too many old players that could go down in that starting lineup. Whether it's Nash, whether it's Kobe, whether it's World Peace, they're all key parts. And if they lose one of those starters in their lineup, then I think they're going to see struggling through the regular season and through the postseason. I think they definitely will make the postseason, but they could struggle if they see injuries, definitely.
All right, well, you know, the season even started. Let's get these picks in nice and early. Tony, I'll start with you. Who's going to win the NBA Finals?
NBA Finals, we got Kevin Durant leading the Thunder over the Celtics with in 5 games.
Oh,
wow.
Because
the
Thunder are going to stand out.
The scores of those games?
Because the Thunder is going to stand out big this year, I think. I think that they just have the best depth. They have scorers everywhere. They can pass the ball to Westbrook, Durant. So they're going to dominate,
Joey?
I think.
I got a finals rematch. I got Miami and Thunder. I think the Thunder are going to play a lot better series than they did, but I'm going to take LeBron James. What he did last year was unbelievable, and I don't think he's unstoppable right now. I'll take Miami in 7 over the Thunder.
We'll see what happens with those games, and it's going to be an exciting NBA season to watch. Guys, thanks for joining me up here, and to you at home, thanks for watching. Check in with us next week, same time, same place.